For those that don't know me, I'm Kate of Gaia. Judge bowed to me once, which, yeah. And what Dean was saying about the judge and the black dress, I was going to wear my little black dress today, but I decided with this, and this is what it means to accessorize. Okay, and judges don't do that. Have a look around. Look at everybody. Turn around and look at everybody in this room. Okay? For every one of you, there's at least 1,000 more that you're not seeing. We average between 25 and 30,000 people per night tuned into my radio show. Yeah. Okay? That's every night, 7 nights a week. I run 7 nights a week. I haven't missed a night except tonight, which will be the first time in over 9 months. You need to know the difference that you're all making. My only job here is to empower you. I found my puzzle piece, and I had to find the power within me just to be me, right? I'm a truth shock trooper. I walk into a room and people go, am I not a big enough clue to your duality, to your perfect nature of magnetic electric? And when people finally start to understand, like what Dean was talking about with regards to fear, you know, I have to go back to Roosevelt. There is nothing to fear but fear. And the minute that you start to step into your power is the minute this system backs down. It's all illusion, right? Did anybody in here see the Judge Bows to Sovereign video? Anybody? Okay, that was 3 years ago. Coincidentally, on September 1st, 2010, 3 years to the day, the apostolic letter came into effect. It was just a coincidence. It was just a coincidence that I was born on June 15th in the Gregorian calendar, which is the anniversary of the Magna Carta being signed. It's just a coincidence that my boy name initials were WKT, which is me, W. Katie. These are just coincidences. My family name is Thompson. Noska Tiepsum is a family motto, which means to know thyself. My initials again. You got to find your yellow brick road. And that's what I talk about every night. And how important it is for you to find out who you really are and what you really are. You're not this, Yoda said it, you are not this flesh. Okay? Yoda is one of the greatest teachers ever. You know, pay attention. The guy had lots to say. When you start to see the real magic of this place and what is going on and the power that you wield within you, you will watch the world change in front of your very eyes. This is what it means to change your mind, change the universe. I watch it every day. But then I'm looking for the allegories. I'm not getting caught up in the literal traps that this system is all about. And one of the things I know, and I've known Dean for a long time, very passionate, another Irish Gemini, go figure, right? Belfast born, June 15, Gemini, right? What are the odds? Is there another Gemini? Yeah? Any Geminis, come on. The spirit. Okay, there we go. Good stuff. You're all important. Just Geminis are better, that's all. No, I'm kidding. Oops. I'm kidding. You've got to be all 12 signs of the Zodiac. That's the trick, right? If anyone here ever caught my radio show Outside the Box? Okay. It's fun stuff, eh? Yeah, we get the job done. We get the job done. You need to become Ophiuchus. You need to become the 13th warrior. You need to become the Jesus. You need to become the Muhammad. You need to become the Buddha, the Gandhi, the Abraham, the Jacob, right? These are all the same characters. Joseph had 12 brothers. Jesus had 12 disciplines. Ophiuchus has 12 zodiacs. Hercules has 12 labors. Just a coincidence? Mike, you were just telling me about the movie, The Hunger Games. 12 rooms. And then there's a 13th room? If you're not seeing the trends yet, then you're not seeing what's really going on here. And one of the joys of what Dean is doing is getting people into that point of confidence where they can start to understand what's really going on here. I can get into a lot of great detail. I don't know how much time he wants me to talk right now, or if I'm going to come back up. I've got a lot of... Nora? Any idea? Okay, yeah, all right. But the most important thing is you need to empower yourselves. You've got to stop buckling to the system. You've got to stop giving in to the illusions of this game. And it's just illusion, right? This thing is not staying on. Let me see if I can... Oh, that's probably why. Squeeze it! There we go. Anyway, yeah, for every one of you sitting here, there's at least 1,000. I've used the allegory of a cockroach. When you see a cockroach in the kitchen, there's another 1,000 in the walls, and that's what we are to the system. And yeah, the system is terrified of us. Yeah. We spend a lot of time sending a lot of emails to a lot of people every day. Had talking to someone yesterday that had sent out, Valerie had sent out over 1,000 emails, right? These are the, if you've ever, excuse me, ever been to my website, kateofgaia.wordpress.com, go to the writings page, and there's one there that's called the One Stop Truth Doc, which outlines all of the crimes that are going on. Did you know you're a criminal? By using the name. Did you know, and these are things that keep us entrapped. When you agree to be of Babylon, okay, which is baby law mine, I'm a phonics freak. I'll take words and rip them to shreds and I'll show you what you're really saying. With courts, it's all about assumption and presumption. One of my favorite words I like to use is refuse. Anyone know what the word refuse means? Well, it's what an electrician does when something breaks. They want to rejoin it. They put a refuse into the wall. So when you refuse to have a lawyer, what are you actually saying? So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. This is the catch-22, right? That's the master number. All right, so we have to be more mindful of the spells that we've been cast under. You've been very well trained. Can everyone here read and write? Then you are running major programs. Now, here's the heroes I love to talk to. Anybody here dyslexic or have difficulty reading? You lucky people. You were never caught completely in the sigils. It's one of the reasons why you're here. And this is why I want to empower even more so that, right? When I think back through my own education, I was lined up for scholarships at Queen's University in Belfast. As things turned out, I ended up coming back here, but I am so grateful that I didn't have to go through that system any more than I did. Because what you'll find with the conditioning is they get you very young, right? You spend first 4 or 5 years being indoctrinated into, you know, you're white, you're black, you're green, you're orange, you're Catholic, you're Protestant, you're Muslim, you're Jew, you're liberal, you're progressive, conservative, you're Democrat, Republican, and all these things that your family paints on your canvas. Regardless of where you come in on this planet, it's only one Earth, right? There are only 2 jurisdictions. There's you and the crown. Because whenever England went and invaded anywhere, they would always go in, set up their systems, City of London, called courts, and then they'd leave. The military would leave and everyone thinks, oh, we've got our freedom. No, you don't. They put exactly in there what they wanted, the courts. They're going to enslave this. Enslaving the meat stick's easy. It's getting the mind that's a little tougher. And this is what we're dealing with right now is we have, well here, hey, where's Dean? I was going to suggest next time a cop asks you if you're a free man, it says, well, why? Are you a slave man? You know? And look at the word slave, slave, which is to slay the truth. Ve from verily, V-E. I can take it letter by letter if you want, but it's pretty clear to me. We've got to start listening intuitively to what we're doing and what we're saying. The word say. Anyone know what pro se means? Right. By oneself, right? Pro se, which in Latin means for himself, herself, itself. Literally. Look up say and translate from Latin and it says it. Himself, herself, itself. Say is the divine trinity. That's why when you say something, you're creating. It's all in the phonics. Our legal system is based on Phoenician law, 900 years before Rome. It actually goes back to Sumerian times, but the Phoenicians really got it mastered. That's why they're called traitors. Traitors to humanity. Traitors on the high seas. This is why we're in Admiralty. The name that we walk around with is a registered ship. You've been salvaged mentally. And when we agree to be part of the whore of Babylon, which is what I refer to the system as, then you are one of her dead babies. The birth certificate is a death certificate, right? They create the dead legal fiction. And the only reason that these things are created to begin with is so that trading can be allowed between people. The biggest curse that humanity ever had placed upon it, and it goes back to Sumeria, is money. The whole concept of taking value and taking it outside of yourself, putting it into a lump of metal, be it silver, or gold, or diamonds, or whatever. When we separated ourselves from ourselves, by doing that, that's the true fall, right? You go to Santa Bonacci and you can watch, we left the age of Aries and came into Pisces. We fell. That's the fallen angle from the head to the feet. Aries to Pisces. It's all allegory. Everything that I see is an allegory. And I'm having a very difficult time these days of looking at things literally. Because when someone's talking to me about something, I'm putting it in allegory because I cannot take anything literally anymore. Liter, ally. Sorry. Garbage is not my friend. So I'll take the allegory. But you guys are in for one hell of a treat today. I know that because this is the first time I've ever met Dean, other than on the air. And he's been on the air with me quite a few times, many times. Probably the only one that probably more would be Santa Bonacci. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting back up, but if I could, if there are any burning questions and anyone has, ask me now.
The phonetics that you're talking about, what do you recommend? Because what I'm learning as well is that when we get to the root of the words, which is the essence of ourselves, it makes things, you can shatter everything.
Absolutely. The universe was created with sound. In the beginning there was the word, W-H-I-R-R-E-D, the spiral.
So what do you recommend for that type of information?
There are no books on it.
But quantum.
It's quantum.
Language.
It is quantum. I call it, I speak angel. I don't speak angelish or English, as they call it. Anglo-Saxon, that's where English came from. Someone asked me yesterday, is there any books you can recommend? And the only thing I could answer was, I'm writing one. There are no books on this. This was a complete intuitive. And listening very, very carefully. Phonics, sound, Phoenician law, Phoenix rising from the ashes. Right? So phony, it's all in the sound. This is how our universe was created. In the beginning there was the Word. And the word was why. So start being the 5-year-old again. Start asking why. Don't get caught in the literal. Literal asks who, what, when, where, and how. Intuitive asks why. It's the only question you need to ask.
What's the significance with the degrees in Freemasonry, like 33 degrees, 32?
Well, 33 vertebrae, right? It's a lower aspect. So, yeah, again, I don't get into the semantics of, I'm the first one in my family line to not be a Mason. My whole family, is going right back, right? So, but again, 33 years old, Jesus. These are all allegories, right? And it says right in the book, and these are as allegories and parables. Don't take them literally. If you do, well, this is what we have. We have the religio cosis chosenitis mentality of teaching things in a literal sense. And it's completely backwards to what is true and what is real, right? And here's the thing, this is how they get away with these things, is because they're telling you the truth. If you have the eyes to see it, great. If you don't, well, great for them. So it really is about waking up to the allegories. Yeah, Jesus was 33 years old, 33 vertebrae, right? 33 RPM, come on. It's in your face all the time. You guys get repeating numbers all the time? Yeah. Have a look at angel numbers, and that'll tell you what's actually going on. You got to trust your now. When I read Black's Law, it's a magic book. Say the Bible, Black's Law, any of these books, I read them now. I don't look at it as a history or a prophecy. It's right now. What is it telling me right now? And where was I going there? Black's Law. If you know how to read Black's Law, you want to know how to read it as a magic book? You have a word or a few words that keep coming up in your life all the time? You all do. I know you do. There's something that always seems to come up all the time. Why does that word keep coming up? Why does that number keep coming up? Well, I'll tell you, when you get a word that keeps coming up, that's you trying to remind yourself to have a look. So here's a way to have a look. Take Black's Magic. I use the 9th edition, Consciousness edition, right? And if there's a word in there, the word dactyl. I decoded my Invocation of the Cross that I sent out last year was showing how universal law had been mimicked by man-made. And that I used Black's Law to decode the cartoon series Gravity Falls. That's how that document came to be. And it was amazing once you click on these concepts and you see them. So take the word that you have that keeps coming up all the time, look for it in Black's Law. One of the words that came up in Gravity Falls was dactyl, right? Because it was on one of the shirts, on the jacket of one of the guys in there. And look it up. It's amazing. Find the word that you're looking for. If it's not there, look where it should be, and then look as above, so below. Your answer is always there. It's always there. It's never failed me. So, anyway,
Another question.
oh,
Hey, Kate, it's Derek, by the way.
hey, how are ya?
Pretty good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so I don't doubt for a second that the Crown has copyrighted our name with the creation of the birth certificate. However, they have to prove that. Like, until they can, as Dean would say, that's a presumption of law.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But the birth certificate is absolute proof that you were born on the land. That's the problem with it. That's the fundamental flaw. Because a ship cannot be birthed unless there's land. So that is the key that locked you in behind the bars. It's also the key that opens it. The key, Q-U-A-Y, where do you dock a ship? In a key? Keyhole? Look at the Vatican. It's a big key. The keys of St. Peter.
So the goal is to try and to get them to actually admit that. Which is,
I don't need anybody to admit anything. I'm God. So are you. And that's what I'm here to teach people. God is light, ye are gods. It's pretty simple. Who was it said that? Oh, right, some guy called Jesus or whatever. Yeah, he was a pretty cool cat. I liked his teachings.
I just wanted to take that a step further because
Sure.
brought something to my consciousness with respect to that name. Being a businessman, they make it quite clear that you do not need a business license or to register a corporation.
You already have one.
Business in your own name.
You already have one.
What triggered for me was that, and I said, well, how do I confirm this? Well, let me ask them if they'll let me incorporate that name and see what they say. Has anyone actually tried that?
No.
If it's already owned, like, if they already own it, then they can't say that.
Well, let's look at copyright. Okay, ka, spirit, pi, ratio, right? Right brain, mind, universal law. That's what copyright is. And when we agree with it, everything that we agree to is a spiritual contract. Make no bones about it. If that what you agree with, you are in contract with. End of story. Right? So that's where we have to learn to take accountability for our choices. You know, people talk about karma and whatever. Well, it's like this. I see coincidences merely as consequences. You are the net sum total of all your experience and everything that you've caused and have been an effect to. I'm your co-creation. I can't have an experience without you. And then what forms me is that. So I get to have my experience. I get to be your Frankenstein monster. So you get to create me in your image in as much as I'm creating you in mine. Mirror, mirror.
Personal question. What did you feel when you feel? Do you remember? Or why?
I think it was about 8:45 a.m. June 15th, 1964. I remember the day I was born. I was there.
Than us, right? In a positive way, as I say. I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, see, this is the thing.
I can understand, like, you know.
I totally get where you're coming from. I totally get that. Like I said, for me, it was a 4-decade journey of saying, I know who I am. Why can't I just do that? And that's what I just did.
I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm just a clue. I am just a truth shock clue. You are both magnetic electric. You are both masculine, feminine. You're a quad. You've got a positive, negative masculine. You've got a positive, negative feminine. Where are you on that crosshairs? You got to get 0 point. You got to bring it all together.
You talked just previously about Aries and going to Pisces. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that and maybe touch on Aquarius a little bit too?
Oh, okay. Well, it depends on, I could touch on a lot of stuff.
Aries was in the head and fell to the feet.
Well, you've heard the expression, the fallen angels. Right, that's the fallen angle. I'm trying to show the allegory, not the literal. So the allegory is we left from Aries, the age of Aries, to Pisces. So the fallen angle is from the head to the feet. That's a long drop from heaven to hell. right? That's why the sole of your feet is matched to the soul within, right? So as above, so below. And when you start seeing the fractal nature of things, all things within all things, this game gets easy. It gets to be fun. And you start controlling stuff like an entire planet. It's really neat. I know I do it. So do you. Everyone does. You are the consciousness. Are you going to be an effect, or are you going to be cause? Ka-se, cause. Spirit with himself, herself, itself, Trinity.
So if the Pisces like resembles fish, and Jesus was a fisherman, and Pisces is resembling hell, then what's the relation?
Okay, you're going literal. Let me go a little bit. No, I know. Yeah. It depends, right? Fisher, F-I-S-S-U-R-E or F-I-S-H-E-R?
Well, the term that Jesus was used as a fisherman, was he a F-I-S-S-U-R-E or F-I-S-S-U-R-E?
Now we're getting outside the box. Was he a divider of men or a bringer together of men?
Yeah,
right?
If you could elaborate on that.
It's easy.
Symbols, how are we supposed to interpret those symbols?
That's why I was going to say this is easy. What is your perspective?
Okay.
You look within for that answer. And this is what I'm trying to bring to people. Look within yourself for the answers. You can come here, and Dean's got some beautiful knowledge. I've got a little bit here and there. But the most important knowledge is already contained within you. And none of us take the time to spend... When was the last time you spent 5 minutes with yourself? Just in deep thought. With nothing else around you. Nothing. When was the last time you spent 10 minutes, 15 minutes with yourself? I'm crowding 50 years, and I tell you, it's... The only time I spent time with myself was learning to play guitar, meditating. But getting back to Pisces, if you want to see a beautiful layout of Allegory, go to Bill Donahue, hiddenmeanings.com, on his YouTube channel, and watch all the Zodiac stuff, because he does a great job. What he does and what Santo does are they're still in the same vein of things, but when you put them together, then you see the magic. So I'm a cherry picker of truth. I don't have to go looking for everything. I've been a very avid and diligent researcher. I'm a writer. It's what I do. Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing better than finding people like Dean and Santo and Bill and so many others. I can go, oh, look what they did. Okay, that works with that. And I'm just a dot connector. I'm the son and daughter. Get it? Light on the dots. That's what I do. So I took my life role, and this is a movie. Are you screaming at the silver screen, or are you directing it? Are you an effect to it, or are you a cause over it? And I know Dean has the power to do this. He's done it so many times with people. It's about empowering you with a bit of knowledge, with a bit of insight, with a bit of understanding. And the more you understand about the matrix and how it works and the frauds that this system has put upon us, that we are in agreement to. There is no they and us. This is self-responsibility. And this is the big pill, the tough one. I call it the watermelon, right? So don't try to eat the watermelon in one bite. It'll hurt. Take little slices of it. Rule 1, breathe. Everyone wants as I say on the air, everyone wants the drive-through truth burger. Give me the truth, and I want it now, and it better be good, and it better be quick, and it better be cheap. By the way, can you do that for me? Yeah. Right? Dean was talking about templates. A template is only useful if you understand what's on it. And I'm not talking a template that you fill out. I mean, templates are for slaves. Concepts is what you need to get. Concept with 7. Set en français, anyone speak French? Right? With 7, with God. 7th letter of the Greek alphabet, eta. E-T-A. Estimated time of arrival? Now. Capital letter, our capital H is eta. 7th letter. So what is H? H is the 2 pillars of Solomon. Yakin and Boaz. What is the rainbow bridge between them? Well, that's a representation of your brain, right? That's your prefrontal lobe, right? You've got one side of the H, the other side of the H, and the prefrontal lobe. That's your heaven. That's why they use H in heaven, or heaved up. Uranos. And today, great day. You picked a perfect day. What a coincidence. Uranus and Pluto, Uranus and Pluto, square off today. Heaven and hell. Squares today. November 23rd, let me see. Oh, my life path, 5, 2, 3, 5. Oh, there it is. I'm supposed to be here. But because I know where my yellow brick road is, I've been following it. And what I do now, has anyone picked up on their listening to the show, have you picked up on your yellow brick roads? You started to see the little things? Yeah, and they get more magical as you go, and they get even more unbelievable. And this is the thing, we have doubted ourselves. We came out of Pisces, I believe. Well, okay, well, let's go in the mirror. I don't believe. I'm going to be an Aquarian where it says I know or I don't know. There's no doubt there. When you know something, you know it, right? I believe 1 + 1 = 2. See the difference? You either know it or you don't. So you make the aware choice to know something, not believe something. Right? Belief is what got the religio-cosis chosenitis programs rammed into people, where you've got books like the Bible and the Quran and the Vedics and the Torah, all of these books that, taken literally, leave a world filled with hell. Prime example, the wife must be subservient to the husband. Oh, there's a great motto. If you take it literally, it completely divides mankind. It makes one lesser than the other. But what was really being said is that anything feminine is related to the emotions. That's the negative masculine too, by the way. Right? Emotions. Right? Just mirror things. You'll see it. And anything masculine or electrical intent has to do with the mind. So emotions and mind. So let me say that again. The wife, emotions, must be subservient to the husband, the mind. That's what it's really saying. Does that make more sense? Whole lot less divisive? Yeah? Did you want me to do any more on the Pisces thing, or?
No, I'm going to look up that Bill Donahue.
Bill Donahue, he does great work on each of the zodiacs, and I urge you to watch all 12. Because until you become knowledgeable of all 12 signs within you, you have everything in you. Your design is here. Everything in all, Jesus had 12 disciples, okay? Ophiuchus has 12 disciples called the Aries to Aquarius, or Pisces rather, okay? Those are the 12 disciples. And you have contained within you all 12, and what you need to do is see which ones you need to fix. That's why you're here. It's a movie. Lighten up. Am I allowed to say fuck?
I'm stuck in tasers.
Okay, so lighten up. Seriously, and I mean that literally and allegorically. Take the load off. Get bright. Okay? Stop taking yourself so seriously. Stop taking this game so seriously. See? That's the screen. This is our game. Stop! Did it do anything? No. You got to change it here and here. Get out of the physical. Get into the ethereal, the causal nature. Right? When you're at effect, you're dealing in the fiction literal. When you're at cause, you're now seeing how things are working as you see it in your life. Ye are gods. I'm going to quote him again. God is light. Ye are light. Ye are gods. And you shall do greater things than I. That doesn't come from a boastful individual. That comes from someone that says he knows his shit. And he knows who and what you are. So, and the fact that you're here, give yourselves a round of applause, guys. Well done.
To get here is wow.
It's great, eh? Look what you had to go through to actually be here.
Yeah.
Really. So if there are no other questions, I'll hand the floor back. Oh.
I'm a Pisces. I
Yay!
see numbers and that sort of thing that you talk about. Can you touch a little bit on telepathy? Because I can, like, I'm not a mind reader or anything, but I can, like, hear thoughts and see numbers and...
Santo talked about this last night. Just a coincidence.
I can hold on behind my back and maybe
You'll get it.
do things.
That's the awakening. That is the quickening. And what you're experiencing now is the same effect that you go to pick up the phone to call someone and they're already calling you and it didn't ring that all the time. Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you a physical allegory of that. Okay, back in the 1800s, I forget the guy's name, but he was testing resonance. Where we knew sound can't travel through a vacuum, could resonance, right? So again, this is an ethereal concept. I can't even describe this, it's so frustrating. But anyway, what he did was he had two bells tuned to A, perfectly pitched. And what he did was he went into a cathedral, and he had his assistant at the far end of the cathedral, and he would hit the bell, and by observation, to see if the other bell would resonate and ring with the sound waves. Sure enough, it did. Of course it will. Anything that is tuned together will resonate together. Same way you get feedback with two instruments. Say you hit an A string on a bass, and you have a. I know, because this happens all the time. You leave your guitar turned up. Next thing you know, the A string on my guitar is going off and vibrating like mad, and then there's a frequency back and forth, and it creates feedback. And this is what we're doing now, by the way. We're creating a feedback loop. The more of this energy that we're putting in is now returning, and it's like a laser. It's going back and forth until it gets so intense it cuts through everything. So what happened then was, okay, great. We know that sound can travel through air. So what they did was they took the second bell and they encased it in a vacuum bell, and they pulled all the air out of it. Once again, hit the bell, one end, by observation. No sound could travel through, but it was ringing. You couldn't hear it because it's in a vacuum, but you could see it vibrating. So what that tells you is exactly what's going on. When you start tuning, especially with those closest to you, when you start tuning to them, yeah, you'll pick it up. And if you're not, then there's something wrong, right? But what was the guy's name? Oh, right, Jesus said, when you see the man carrying the pitcher of water, which back in those days, a man did not carry water, so pay attention. Might have been someone like me, who knows? Anyway, right? Follow him into the house and go upstairs where my Father has prepared a room for you. You're the water bearer. Do you know why it's so critically important that you don't piss your life away? Maybe take a hair of the dog that bit you? Because Libra, your kidneys. Who has a perfect IT guy, that someone they go to just when they have a computer problem, they pick up the phone and magically it fixes? Everyone has one, right? Someone they can go to. Well, that's what your kidneys are. That's your Libra. That's your balance, right? Aww. Early truther. I love it. Anyway. Your body is a complete universe contained within itself. And we have stopped learning that. So what we need to do is start listening to the ancient sciences, and that's exactly what urine therapy is. This is one of the gifts taken away from us. We're not even supposed to be eating, guys. Seriously. Right? Well, see, that's another consciousness. See, that's our effect, not cause. You see, when people, they got it backwards, right? In Egypt, they worship Ra. No, that's actually the mirror. We create that. That's ours. So when we worship it, we're an effect to our own creation. And what a perfect game to play. Magnetic feminine, creator of all, void, Isis is, because it is, creates an intent, prodigal son, sends out electrical intent, that by definition can create magnets. So it sees itself as the creator of a creator. What a perfect game. So let's put absolute creation at effect to its own creations. So getting back to the, okay, I just want to get back to the urine therapy. The allegorical clues are too many to count. And when you start seeing it, it's like, do you remember when you bought a car or a truck or whatever? The first thing you started noticing when you were driving around was everyone else had one, the same as yours? And it's the same effect. When you find a truth, you start seeing them everywhere. It's like, holy shit, they're everywhere, right? It's the same effect. When you start seeing yellow brick road clues, coincidences, and you start trusting yourself, this is what it is to empower yourself. When you start trusting these things, then you start following your yellow brick road. So to get back to the IT guys, what happens is your blood does not get pumped through your body with your heart. Sorry. The heart is not physically capable. It's 2 millimeters thick at the thickest. And you're expecting it, and look what we do to it, right? You're expecting it to beat 72 times a minute for, on average, say 80 to 100 years, while we do all manner of poisoning it and everything else, and it's supposed to survive? No. What the heart is a regulator. Your sun is contained. That's your central sun is in your heart. And it's been proven scientifically. There's a little point of energy that burns between 3,000 and 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the regulator inside of you. And what it does is it regulates the implosions of blood through your body. Your blood implodes. Look at Walter Russell's work, Matt Presti and Robert Otte. Or to get Robert Otte, Matt Presti. Yeah, I got it right. And they get way better detail than I will. But having talked with them, it's like, oh yeah, that's easy. So what we have is heaven and earth in blood. We have plasma and water. Plasma is energy. You've heard of blood plasma, right? Well, that's your ether. That's your God state. And your water in the Ouroboros, or the two serpents, Kundalini, okay, travels through you all day, all points of the day. And that water that comes into contact with your ether, guess where it goes? Into your bladder. And it's also got all the cell salts. It's got all the amino acids. It's got stem cells out the yin yang. It's got everything you need. And what the kidneys do is they balance the blood to make sure that it's pumping. We good? Wrap it up? Okay. Anyway, so that water that came into contact with your literal ether is empowered. And you wouldn't believe what they do with urine. There's a few essays I would suggest reading. Lights, Camera, Action. There's 4 on my page that actually goes into the allegories of what a vampire truly is. Okay, it's all allegory.